Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk. It is fascinating to see what's happening. Number to call is 888-589-8840. By the way, talk about anything that you want to talk about today. And I want to just close the loop on this Beverly Hills hotel deal, because this is kind of an amazing thing, really. The Beverly Hills Hotel, this is a swanky joint in Beverly Hills. You probably see it in a lot of movies. It's an iconic hotel. In fact, Elizabeth Taylor loved it. She had 6 of her 8 honeymoons there. And you got a lot of A-listers that like to see and be seen there. Tom Cruise is in there. Hollywood producers, Sandra Bullock is in there. Will Smith is in there. All kinds of people in there at the Polo Lounge restaurant. Now the place is virtually deserted. I mean, it has emptied out. Here's a story from Wall Street Journal today. The pink stucco palace, known as the Beverly Hills Hotel, has long been a symbol of Hollywood glamour and affluence. The place where Elizabeth Taylor decamped for 6 of her 8 honeymoons. Now it's become the unlikely epicenter of protests against a new set of harsh laws enacted by the Islamic country of Brunei. The opulent hotel is part of the Dorchester Collection, a luxury chain owned by the Sultan of Brunei. This guy is one of the richest men in the world. If he's not in the top 2 or 3 or 4, he's in the top 10 for sure. This week, the tiny oil-rich Southeast Asian country set off a storm of celebrity protests. I mean, you got Jay Leno down there. You got everybody down there protesting this. Protests and boycotts by introducing Islamic laws that include death by stoning for homosexuals and adulterers. Now, you can understand why Hollywood would have a problem with this. If you stoned to death every homosexual and every adulterer, there wouldn't be anybody left in Hollywood. The place would be totally depopulated. Who would be left to make the movies? That's an exaggeration. I'm just kidding about that. But that's why they're upset, because the gay agenda is very important to them, and they are going to be against anybody. And now they're discovering just how bitterly antagonistic, how vitriolically antagonistic toward homosexuality Islam is. Now, we oppose the normalization of homosexuality. We resist it. We will fight it. I will fight it to my dying breath, because I think it is bad for people. It harms the people that get involved in it. It's bad for our culture when you have sexual deviancy that's normalized. I don't want anybody getting HIV/AIDS. I got a story here about the syphilis rate going out of control in the gay community. This is now becoming predominantly a gay disease. Health officials say syphilis has reached its highest level since 1995, with the increase all in men. There has been a steady rise in gay and bisexual men catching the disease. They account for most of the recent infectious cases. Syphilis is a potentially deadly bacterial disease. I do not want anybody to get a potentially deadly bacterial disease. This is one of the best ways to get it, is through having sex with other men. I don't want that for anybody, so I'm going to resist that simply as a risk to human health. But you go to this Beverly Hills Hotel, the place has turned into a ghost town. Over the past several days, 20 events have been canceled at the Beverly Hills property, a loss of about $2 million in revenue for the hotel. Local politicians and celebrities are also boycotting the nearby Hotel Bel Air in Los Angeles, the hotel's more subdued sister property. Big names like Jay Leno and Ellen DeGeneres are urging boycotts. The Beverly Hills mayor and council are calling for Dorchester to sell the famed hotel. And he wants to operate a hotel in Manhattan. So there's some building opposition to his pursuit of this hotel in Manhattan. The participation of Hollywood's A-list in the boycott has been painful, because the hotel has long been a see and be seen spot to eat, sleep, and fundraise. The hotel's Polo Lounge restaurant is one of this city's prime power lunch spots. One event earlier this year attracted stars including Will Smith and Sandra Bullock, and they're all gone. The place is emptied out. It is basically turned into a ghost town. You got billionaire Richard Branson taking them on. You have Oscar events that have been canceled. Other charitable fundraising events have been canceled. And so, you got 650 people that work there, and they're out there protesting the protests because they want to keep their jobs. And so you finally have Hollywood discovering that Sharia law is bad. It's taken them 50 years to figure it out, but they finally come to understand what I have been saying virtually from day one on this program. Sharia law is bad. We don't want to embrace Sharia law. We don't want to allow Sharia law to take root in the United States of America or have any influence on our Jewish prudence here in the United States. So took them 50 years to get there. Now, do not expect anybody to be out there saying that these Hollywood celebrities are Islamophobic. Now, don't forget the Muslim Brotherhood. Barack Obama supports the Muslim Brotherhood. He did everything in his power to get them to power in Egypt. He worked to get Morsi in power. He's a big Muslim Brotherhood booster, big Muslim Brotherhood supporter. The Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt, the very ones that Barack Obama was helping to power, they believe in stoning to death for homosexuality. You're not going to hear Barack Obama. You're not going to hear these celebrities being tagged as Islamophobes. They will be protected. By the way, one other story, then we'll go to the phones. You maybe have heard about Michael Sam. He's this linebacker from the University of Missouri, and it's turning out that this guy may not get drafted. He's an All-American. He was the most outstanding defensive player in the Southeastern Conference last year, and he may not even get drafted, and he's gay. This is what's unique about him. He would be the first openly gay football player to be drafted, first openly gay player in the NFL, but the guy is not that good a player. NFL officials are saying, look, this guy's not even that good an athlete. And for the NFL, his problem is he's what's called a tweener. He's not big enough to play defensive line, and he's not quick or fast enough to play linebacker. So this guy may go in the very late rounds, if at all. I suspect that the NFL is going to wind up leaning on somebody. They are going to insist that somebody draft this guy because they don't want to get tagged as homophobes because they know how this is going to play out. If Michael Sam doesn't get drafted, the NFL is going to be targeted and tagged as a haven for homophobic bigotry. So Roger Goodell is going to go out there. He is going to lean on somebody. He is going to pressure somebody to draft this guy. Now, my guess is that, maybe he'll get drafted earlier. I'm not saying I know anything about this stuff. He may get drafted earlier, but a lot of the scouts, top 21 scouts, 7 of them saying they don't even think he's going to be drafted. Another 7 think probably in the last round or two. Now, he won't be the last guy drafted because the last guy drafted, his nickname is Mr. Irrelevant. The very last guy taken in the draft is Mr. Irrelevant. They're not going to let him be drafted last. Wouldn't surprise me at all if he got drafted second to last so that the NFL can say he was drafted, and Roger Goodell will make some sort of promise to whatever team gets stuck with him, make some sort of promise to them. I don't know what kind of promise he'll make, but he'll find some way to soften the landing for them. So all that will be interesting to see. And Michael Sam, apparently he knows. Number to call, by the way, 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840, if you'd like to talk about anything that we've talked about over the course of this past week. And it's interesting that Michael Sam's family, and he apparently knows that there are problems with his draftability because he's in his living room watching them with family and friends, and they don't have a live camera crew there from either of the 2 major networks that are broadcasting the event. Now, typically what they like to do, and this is a very high-profile athlete, very high-profile draft situation, because he'd be the first openly gay NFL player ever to be drafted. So this was major news when he came out, and there was all of this salivation about the prospect of him being drafted. Now it looks like he might not get drafted at all, and apparently the networks know it, and Michael Sam knows it because there is no live camera crew in his living room to witness the event. Now, my guess is they may make some kind of arrangement. Roger Goodell will make some kind of arrangement, so he's going to get drafted next to last, and they will send some crew down there. They'll know it'll all be planned ahead of time. They'll know who's going to draft him. They're going to know when he's going to be drafted. They'll have a live camera crew there to capture the moment. All right, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Ryan in Louisiana. Ryan, welcome. What's on your mind?
How you doing, Ryan?
Good. How are you?
Hey, I just want to thank you for your ministry and all you do for God's kingdom. And just wanted to comment, just on all this stuff as far as the homosexual agenda. It's crazy that, especially with what's going on in the NFL. I mean, the bottom line is that this guy is not draft material. He's not draft material, but that people will use that for their agenda, however they're going to use it. I think you hit it on the head yesterday, though, as far as, I think it was yesterday when we said, if you open up the door, for gay marriage, where do you draw the line or where do you stop? Because all these other things are coming out of the woodwork. and things. But so I just want to share, I guess, comment on that, because it is upsetting. But also, I was not aware as far as the hard line that Islam takes on homosexuality. And I was just thinking, I mean, it's amazing as much, as Christianity gets hammered for, speaking out against homosexuality, still we're speaking out as it's a sin like anything else is a sin, and we need to, repent and, love, and things like that, versus just the heart, how extreme the other point of view is. And I think that'll really open a lot of eyes. But thank you again for all you're doing, and appreciate it.
All right, you are certainly welcome, Ryan. Appreciate the call. Thank you very much for that. Let's grab a call from Todd, Chillicothe, Ohio. Todd, welcome. What's on your mind? Got about a minute left.
Okay, two quick points. The Benghazi issue that's never got fixed.
Yes.
I would love to see somebody actually take a stand and hold our government accountable, our president accountable, and the cronies that he has working for him. Someone to take him to task. That man thinks he can do anything, say anything, and be anything he wants. And no one holds his feet to the fire, and somebody sooner or later has got to do it.
Well, I agree, Todd. I appreciate your call. And, I'll tell you, the guy that might do it is Trey Gowdy. Now, Trey Gowdy is the guy that's in charge of the 7 Democrats said we need to investigate Benghazi. 7 Democrats. So this is a bipartisan deal. Don't let anybody lie to you and say this is just some kind of Republican witch hunt. It's bipartisan. 7 Democrats, we need to investigate Benghazi. And Trey Gowdy, this guy is a pit bull. You watch this guy work. He is aggressive. He's a pit bull. He's a cage fighter. He's an alley fighter. Take no prisoners. We're going to get to the bottom. Now, President Obama going to have some powerful allies in the media ignoring this whole thing. NBC skipped it altogether. ABC gave it 12 seconds yesterday in the news. They're trying to bury this thing. If you watch ABC, NBC, you wouldn't even know there was a Benghazi Special Select Committee. Back after the news.